Hey, y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it. Good afternoon to the folk. Good afternoon to the live. Good afternoon to the sun. Good afternoon to the most high. Vivek Ramaswamy, you ain't getting no good morning. All right. Because you are we're going to leave that alone for right now. But let me bring in the brother. Brother Taurean Rain, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am great. We don't give Vivek Ramaswamy no good mornings. Fuck him. All right, folks. Y'all saw the title. I alluded to this on my last live. He talked with a black woman, invited her out to Arizona, and they had a conversation. Now, we all know this guy's trying to be president. I don't see it, but okay. It depends. The majority voting bloc, they need somebody other than Trump, but that's okay. It's nice to have variety. But before we start this, did you know that the black woman that he interviewed allowed her to ask questions? She's known, folks. Something about her reminded me when I saw her, and I couldn't picture it. But then I said, okay, let's look. And guess what I found? If you're on Twitter, you know about this. If you're not, well, we're going to educate you real fast. Tabernacle. We're going to blow this up. She wrote a viral tweet last month that talked about parental relationships in the black community and what they would do if her and her husband met her daughter's boyfriend. She said, today my teenager's new boyfriend, my husband, and that young man's mama had an introduction meeting. Okay, that's nice. That's what you're supposed to do. Let's meet the parents. My husband told the young man, you can call me sir. I have 4 guns. My daughter's chastity is important, and you'll have to see me if you do anything to disturb that. Thank God I married an old soul. He also told the kid he can get dunked on anytime. Basketball reference. We may look like fun, cool parents, but we are pretty traditional. The new age parenting is strange and frankly needs to stop. So you threaten gun violence on this young boy with his mama sitting there. Taurean, do you have anything on this?
Yeah, it seems to me like they are prepared to do something like that. Just comes off as a threat to me.
I'm sorry,
I want to know how, and I want to know how old. I want to know how old their daughter is, as well as her boyfriend. I need to know. Like, I'm assuming they're teenage years.
Thread, I think she said she was 16. But still, how are you sitting in front of these two people and threatening gun violence? That's a private, if anything, that's a private conversation between the men.
Right.
Huh? But you want to talk about new age parenting. Okay. Yeah. And as you see, folks, we're not going to go through the comments there because this ain't what you came here for. They went in on her. Some were for her. Most of us were telling her she's strange, but conservatives. But okay, let's get to the show. Because you know how we do on this platform. We analyze, we play the whole thing. We don't play edited clips. We give full context. And we also do not give people views. What we do is we download the video. That's right. We downloaded the video. And we're going to watch it together. You can comment. Taurean's going to bring his expert analysis. I'm going to bring my expert analysis. And we're going to make jokes where applicable. But this is going to be serious because this guy is very anti-black. That's right. I said it. But here we go. The music sucks already. Oh, God. Come on. Get the music off. Let's go. We don't care about Vivek 2024.
So a on the road episode of our podcast from Howell, Michigan, here in Livingston County, just up north from Ohio, my home state. And we just had a great event
with in Ohio.
a fellow group of patriots who care deeply about this country. I'm in an inspired mood coming out of it. And in the audience was somebody who I literally met
Understand the code.
on Twitter.
Understand the code speak. Whenever he says patriots, he's talking about white people. Understand that, people. For those who missed the Lee Atwater School of Code speak, he's talking about white people when he says and notice he loves to use patriots a lot. But this guy, when he got grilled by Teslin Figaro, and shout out to her, you know what? The guy didn't vote until he was in his 30s.
Yes, he voted 3 years ago.
That was his first election, but he's so patriotic. I said
so civic minded.
I said voting is one of the easiest civic duty things you can do as an American.
Yeah, but did you also peep what he said? He's like, you shouldn't be able to vote if you don't pass the civics test.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And you know what's so crazy? Because Abby Phillips over on CNN said the same thing that Teslin has said, and I know that Teslin had retweeted it and posted. She said, I asked Vivek the same question. Now, when she did it, she was met with, oh, she's being hostile and stuff and everything like that. And it's all about, they don't like when, if they are a fan of someone or a stan of somebody, they do not like you questioning whatever this person is doing. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, this guy literally said that, but he went further to say, it was something else that he had said, that he doubled down on it, and it made it sound even worse. It was beyond the test thing that he said. It was something else. You remember what he said? I forgot. And the thing is, I watched it yesterday. That's crazy.
Well, you know, Vivek, this is MAGA 2.0. He's trying to be he's trying to do it. I don't know why. He should just be original. But I've been spending the last 3 days arguing with people in my comment thread. So what you said before about the stands is correct.
Yeah.
Because they really told me that Teslin, a person who served in this country and has worked on campaigns and even ran for office herself, she's less important than the man who made medicine. Yeah. Now I see why Trump's biggest base when he got in 2016 was the white, non-educated, non-college educated man. I see now why. They're dumb. And it's not hard to pick up a book, but you know, books elude white people.
Now I think I vaguely remember. It had something to do with birthright. People who
the birthright citizenship.
The birthright citizenship. Yeah, that's what it was. So literally we see what this guy's trying to do. This guy, in my opinion, is pro-immigration. I mean, why wouldn't he be? He's first generation born. He was born in the early 80s. His parents came from India. So, you know, he's really close in range with that.
Yes, sir.
For all we know, his mother could have very well been pregnant with him while they were still over there, and they moved over here while she was still pregnant. I don't know how long they were in the establishment before they came before he was born.
We'll never know. You know how you like to scrub people's backgrounds when they need them. MAGA. Tell me something about MAGA. Go ahead.
And I met on Twitter because actually my wife sent me a number of her tweets. The way it works right now is like, it's like it's like Niagara Falls. And so I don't usually check all the posts and dialogue that show up on social media. It's random. Occasionally, my wife somehow, occasionally checks them out as well and said, this is someone serious. She's calling you out on some things that I think you need to hear. And she's not just,
she's not a troll, but she threatened gun violence on a teenage black kid. Okay, cool.
He said she said he had that her husband had 4 guns.
4 guns. So you just telling everybody your business. Okay. And by the way, she said she's from Arizona. I didn't look that up. She said she's from Arizona. So yeah.
I replied to one of those tweets and I said, let's have a conversation. Do you want to come on the podcast? And I think many people would have said, well, I don't know about that. Let's shy away from open debate. But she actually immediately took me up on the offer, which I respect, we're here in Michigan right after the event, but we're going to have a conversation about actually free speech and open debate means hearing not just those who agree with you, but those who actually disagree with you too. I brought my notebook for a reason because I'll keep an open mind and heart. I think that's what we actually need a little bit more of in our country. I also think that social media reduces our dialogue to a place that's designed to actually divide. And I think it's a big part of we're as nationally divided as we are today is that 280 characters on a site that algorithmically amplifies that which you're supposed to actually get addicted to. That's actually part of what's ruined our civic discourse in this country. And so I think we got to practice what we preach a little bit, not just complain about that problem, but get back into the 3D world, something that I think can actually be good for our national civic culture too. And so in that spirit, Christy, we're meeting in person in 3D for the first time after a couple of exchanges that we had on Twitter. I'm looking forward to hopefully learning from you, but to having a conversation that's of a kind that I think we need more of in this country. So thanks for agreeing to come on. Thanks for traveling to be here at the event with us. And I'm looking forward to this conversation.
I agree. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for your wife for extending the offer.
So I'll just get right into it with you. I think there's a few things that I said that you disagreed with.
Right.
And I think that our pledge was to talk about it. It's been a little bit of a while for me. We just came out of this event. Bring me back into that moment. Bring us back into that moment. What were some of the statements that I made that you took issue with? And then let's get it more importantly into the substance and the underlying realities.
Sure. So if I can start by saying, when you declared and came on the scene, there were a lot of us that were excited. I am an America First Republican.
Good.
And
Okay.
I do believe in building the party. I want to build the party. I started Swing Your Vote. It's a 501c4. And my intent is to bring people from the Democratic Party. I'm a walk away. I want to bring other people. It might be a bridge too far to tell them to, come be Republican, but at least
I don't like her already.
Why?
I don't
Already?
like her already. When you mention walk away,
It reminds you of Brexit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you just say I'm not enamored with what the Democrats are doing with black people and other groups, and we want to try to balance out the system? Why are you using a white guy as the reasoning why you as a black person need to leave the Democrat Party?
Mhm.
It sounds like a grift to me.
Yeah. Like you couldn't get where you wanted on one side, so now you're going to the other side because you feel like this is where
The money is.
where the money is. Yep.
And then you had the nerve to wear this America First pin.
I
Come on, bro.
noticed that was one of the first things I noticed when the camera panned to her. Like I couldn't stop looking at
Oh,
that America First on her chest.
Jesus. And oh God, where are they getting this paraphernalia from? Where are they getting this from? They get the hat, they got these pins, the Trump flags. I saw Taurean, I am not lying to you. Yesterday down here, I saw somebody with Trump on their rims. How do you do this?
I don't listen. I
I
don't know.
think
Like
we're
I
in
said,
the wrong
this is like I
game.
said, this is gonna be a very interesting political cycle. Probably one of the most interesting ones in a long time. Even more interesting than when it came down to Biden and Trump back in 2016. 2020, I should say.
Yes. Shameless plug. August 23rd. Please be here. I will be streaming the Republican National Convention debate with Black Light Revelations. We are going to have fun that night, and I'm sure the white trolls are they're gonna show up.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for that. I make sure that the day is clear. Like there's nothing happening on that day. It's in the middle of the week.
Oh my God. It's gonna be so fun, so much fun, bro. But back to her.
become independent and let the parties fight for you. So I was so upset because when the clips that are showed online, you stand in my way of attracting people to the party because they tend to be a little harsh and they tend to be a little divisive. And specifically, when you talk about Black absent fathers, you had Alec Lace on your podcast, and he really set the record straight and he gave you the statistics. The 70% of absent Black fathers that you consistently cite, that's not the right statistic.
Okay.
It's actually 59.5% of Black dads live in the home. Now, what's happening is they're not buying into marriage like they should be. I come from a long line. I've traced my roots, 5-6 generations back. Everyone except for one has been married. My parents have been married my whole life. But nowadays, what's happening is people are living together, but they're not getting married. I agree, that's a problem.
Okay.
Why? Why is that a problem? Why do you need the state to marry you? Why can't you just work in a 2-parent household? Your kid ain't gonna know this.
Yeah. A lot of people don't feel like, they don't have to be binded by a contract. And that's basically what it is. It's a contract. Because what you got to do when you get married, you got to sign a license and it's on paper. And that's basically a binding contract. So that's just something that mutual parties say that, we're going to live together. We're going to play house, but we're not going to actually get the government involved. And I haven't, it's no problem with that. Like for some people, that's easier for them to actually do, and for some people that actually works better than those who actually do get married. That way, if they separate, then there's no legalities involved. It's not a whole bunch of other stuff that comes into play, unless of course there's children involved,
and palimony, depending on how long you've been together.
Yeah,
but again, I did the state thing, but it's cool, whatever, we good. I don't think she's gonna divorce me. I ain't saying nothing on the line yet. She might have a different story, but but BB, hello. You said, well, you're talking about your business. You just getting in on her. You said, will you cover Al Sharpton's March on Washington, August 26th? Come on, baby. You know the answer to that. He's not escaping us, that dancing fool. Come on now. You know better than that.
He gonna dance so hard that conch gonna fall off his head.
Shit, listen, y'all better check the scuff marks on what that street called? Pennsylvania? No, New York Ave, Massachusetts. You better check them scuff marks. All right, back to Christy. Shout out to all the Black dads and the Black mamas.
Need traditional family homes is what I preach.
So we're on the same page there. Okay,
we're on the same page. But when you cite the 70% of absent Black fathers, that's actually a racial trope. That's not
very good.
Not true.
So the number is, on your math, 41%.
Not my math.
It's
according to the CDC.
41%.
Yes.
Can we just pause on? Let's just stipulate for the purpose of this conversation that 70% number is wrong. Do you think that there's still a worthy conversation to have about that 41% number?
Well, I think we also need to go into the fact that, again, Alex Lay said it's an across the board, all races, right?
It's 25% actually across the board, which is
25 to 27 across the board of single moms. So I think if you do it in that context, it's not offensive because you're not singling out Black fathers. Also, this is one more quick statistic. When Black fathers are in the home, it's shown that they are the most active with their children, especially young. They cook, they have time to change diapers, they have time to read. They're higher than even Asian households or white households. They are active fathers when they are in the home. So I think you do a disjustice.
Taurean. What did you think about what she just said?
That's a stat I've heard for a while, or way before she even said it, about Black fathers being the most active. I was waiting to see what Ramen was going to come back with when she said even higher than that of Asian and white fathers. I was waiting to see if he was going to come back with a but or some kind of rebuttal. But he probably gonna have something to say.
He can't use it though, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and finish, but he can't use that.
Now you can go ahead, tell me why.
Because even with the Far East Asians, they come from single parent households. A lot of them, they just don't publicize that,
right?
Because they think that's shame. Like a lot of times, especially from China and what's the other one? Indonesia, it's usually just the mom running over there to America. So it's just mom and kid. When it's for the purposes of highlighting how prominent somebody is, yeah, they'll mention the single mom. But when it's just a regular person, nah, you never hear about that. They always have some excuse with why the father's not around. But you know us, we try to pull that. Oh, well, y'all need to stick together. This is why there's so much crime in there. You got to balance it out.
Yeah.
You can't say it's positive for one, but negative for the other. You can't do that. But, you know. But I like how he was about to harp on the 41%. You saw that.
Yeah, because he realized he was dead wrong with that random off the wall 70% number that he just threw out there. He knew that wasn't a true number, but you know, they always got to increase it and make it higher and higher and higher every year. And there's no stats to back that up. And let's just say he did pull that 70%. Where did he get that stat from? I'm willing to bet from not one legit source.
Oh, no. He got that from white people.
Of course.
Shout out white people. Nah, y'all don't get no shout out. Fuck y'all. Back to the video.
That resonates with me because it's not just showing up. It's about showing up and the actual presence that you bring to the table. How do they measure that? Or you know, you started listing some of the criteria like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's called how that kid becomes an adult and how they perform in society. The fuck, you see what he's doing?
Yeah.
You see, fam, all you assholes, all you swami, never mind. Nah, fuck it. I don't care. I'm embracing villainy. All you swami swayers out here. How you still gonna tell me he ain't anti-black? How? You're gonna be the guy to try to measure how a black father is in the home. All right, my dude.
Why don't we ask Vivek how he is with his kids, since he wants to be all up in our business? Like, if I was her, I would ask her. If I was her, I would be asking, "How are you with your children?"
Facts. Oh no, Taurean, we can't ask that. That's disrespectful.
Who cares?
There you go. Embrace your villainy, sir. Have you figured out an avatar yet? That is mine.
I don't know if I have. My mind is constantly changing. It's like Mystique from X-Men.
Okay. Well, is she gender neutral? Just asking. You may get one in there, but you could be Morph.
I was getting ready to say that. You know why I could be Morph. I don't know why. Like Morph just kind of like slipped my mind. Yeah. But yeah.
But I think when you get to your ultimate level, you'll be Plastic Man. Yeah. This guy, he's great. I can't wait till the 23rd when he gets cooked. I can't wait. I might even. No, I'm not going to say it.
Do you participate in diaper changes?
How does the CDC measure it?
Yeah, for example, like when you say they're the most active in the home, it's interesting to me. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
I mean, I would guess they would poll
I'll look into
but
it,
I know,
yeah.
from what I've seen, and I think they probably measure it by the amount of time in the home. So, for instance, maybe their jobs lend more to them working a 9 to 5 so that they're home.
So, can I let you know where I'm coming from on this? Because I think it's important.
Here we go.
That you at least understand where I'm coming from to be able to maybe help me channel what I'm trying to accomplish in a way that accomplishes a goal that you and I share in common, which is, I could care less for the politics of the Republican Party, but bring people along in the pro-American movement to actually revive this country. So I put a special emphasis, I do, at times on Black Americans, absence of economic mobility, absence of educational empowerment and advancement. Thanks for agreeing to come on. Thanks for traveling to be here.
There you go. That was the part I wanted y'all to hear. Go ahead and tell me again. He ain't focused on y'all. Go ahead.
He can't keep us. Like I said, he cannot go a day without having us in his mouth.
He has 9 other groups he can talk about, including his own. Because
he thinks that by doing that's going to send him over.
I'm gonna let you cook.
he think that's what, like, him saying all this stuff about Black people, specifically Black Americans, are going to send him over or win the hearts and minds of people. But like I said, like you said, when August 23rd rolls around, he's going to get one of his biggest wake-up calls, because they're going to be asking him questions, and that's not going to be solely just about Black people, even if they bring up Black people at all. So he's going to have to talk about something else outside of his comfort zone, which is throwing Black people under the bus all the time. That's what Teslin was actually setting him up for, because believe it or not, what she did was light work compared to what they're going to do on that debate stage.
Thank you. And I've been saying this to people in the comment thread. If he can't handle a controlled environment with 2 people, how is he going to handle, depending on who's on there? We'll just go to the max. 10 other people getting at him when they ask him questions and they're allowed to rebut. You're going to have an audience gauging how the answer is. The moderator is going to push back on you. People on social media, when you get your feedback, because your team is going to be watching this, you're going to get that feedback. How are you going to handle that? Which is why you're going to drop out after this debate.
Be killing me. And you know what? How they kept trying to say Tesla was being hostile and stuff like that. I wonder what they're going to say to the moderators on the.
They'll claim racism.
Oh yeah, they're going. I want to know. Do you know who's going to be doing the moderating? They haven't announced it yet.
Usually Fox News. It's who was it? I don't know if Chris Wallace is still there. It's going to be somebody from Fox News. If I had to guess, maybe Jesse Waters. He's like,
you know what's so funny? Now. You want to know what's so funny? And I'm looking at the chat because people keep mentioning Don Lemon. It's interesting how
what's up, Don?
Vivek Ramen Noodles is even causing people who we consider turncoats to actually quote unquote agree with them. Like you keep saying, I hate that I have to agree with Joy Satter rings around the neck. But I think it's 2 times now, and it's all stemming from stuff that he says.
Did you see that I almost defended Kamami against this dude?
Now that lets you know this guy is a true.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. If you got me defending Kamami, thinking about it, son, nah.
Yeah.
Because he said this bro couldn't spell AI. I said, bro, where is the divine 9 on this?
Right. Like he's causing people to defend the indefensible. Like people that you wouldn't like say like 2 things about in a positive way, because they've done so many things that warrants you saying something negative about them because of the stuff they said about us. But this dude here, he's like a Trojan horse.
Ooh, you gonna like this. They announced who's gonna do it.
Who's that?
The dude, the co-anchor team that they have, Brett Baier and Martha McCallum.
At Fox?
Yeah.
Oh, the one that replaced Tucker Carlson?
No. That was Jesse Waters. I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
I downloaded the picture. I'm gonna show you real fast. No, these two, they're like the co-anchor team over there. Damn, I can't show. You know what? I'll just show it. I'll just present the screen. Give me 1 second. These two.
Oh, I recognize him. He got a weird face.
Yes, he does. Yeah, it's gonna be these two.
He kind of looks like, you know, the 1989 Joker.
Yes,
kind of look like him, but without the makeup.
Yes, that is Jack Napier.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're gonna co-host they're gonna co-moderate. That's what they call it, co-moderate. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't entertain Fox News whatsoever, but I will be watching that night.
Oh yeah,
just to see specifically him. I'm gonna watch to see everybody trip up, because everybody gonna trip up somehow, some way. But this one right here, for sure, is the one that we gonna be locked in on for sure until he's gone. And I have a feeling, you know, he's not, like you said, we know he's not gonna get far. I think he knows he's not gonna get far.
He's just angling for a job.
He's just like building a platform for himself right now, so he can have something to do on the back end when this falls through. He's building he has his base built up now, so when he continues with his grift, he'll already have a head start.
Back to the video.
Here,
let's do it. Very Black community. Sad to know that, you know, if I've been communicating ways that make someone feel like I'm pinning blame, race conscious, and how.
Hold on. I want to go back to the part where you just talking about Black people.
No, it's interesting to me. What does that mean?
I mean, I would guess they would poll
I'll
it,
look into
but
it,
I know, you know, from what I've seen,
do times on Black Americans.
Why?
Absence of economic mobility, absence of educational empowerment and advancement. Precisely because
We got no money and
live
we're
in
dumb.
a moment, especially for the last 60 years since Johnson, but now in particular, that places such a policy emphasis on race-conscious policies. Right? So much of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, what he took credit for, he boasted about it, was actually empowering Black Americans through the Great Society and a lot of the financial aid he made available. Affirmative action was specifically put into place to help Black Americans. I think now we see, COVID aid policies even being discussed as to being race conscious and how they're distributed.
Would you like to take that?
Play that part again.
Yes, sir.
Johnson, but now in particular, that places such a policy emphasis on race conscious policies. Right? So much of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, what he took credit for, he boasted about it, was actually empowering Black Americans through the Great Society and a lot of the financial aid he made available. Affirmative.
I see. He wants to go and undo everything. If this guy could overturn the Civil Rights Act of 1964, he definitely would in a heartbeat. Of course, his dumb ass wouldn't realize it would end up affecting him too, because his people got steamrolled into that somehow, some way. Like I said, his biggest doing is going to be his greatest undoing. This guy, like I said, he's a fluff artist. He just gets up here, he says a whole bunch of stuff, again throwing Black people under the bus because that's the only thing he knows how to do. He's a one-trick pony. Like I said, I cannot take him seriously at all. That's why I said I can't wait for the 23rd. I wish it was the 23rd of this month.
No, you got to do it right before them kids go back to school. Before
I mean, because anything can happen between now and the 23rd. Shoot, an asteroid could come crashing into Earth on the 22nd, and then what?
Please don't deny me this. Don't deny
right.
people. Do not, the Most High, do not deny me this content. Don't do this. Let this be my last content before you take us out. That way, when the aliens come and siphon through it, this will be my contribution. Me laughing and being politically savvy.
And I heard him. He's about to bring up affirmative action.
Oh yes, but I got something for you. You ready? You know what it sounds like to me?
What's that?
This.
Republican president or a Democratic president, the American people are tired of gridlock. We had an immigration bill back when Karl Rove and Dana was under the Bush administration. We had one under the Obama administration. We couldn't get the deal. So yes, it was a different tone, but I think in the closing days of this campaign, President Trump was not capable of delivering for all Americans. I'll make one last point. And as far as I'm concerned, Lyndon Johnson has been my best president. Why? Because he passed the Civil Rights Act, because he passed the Voting Rights Act, because he made this a more perfect union with the Fair Housing Act. He's been the best president, in my judgment, for all Americans, not just Black Americans.
You say that, Donna Brazil. And where is Donna today?
I don't know. Is she even still on Fox News?
Talking about LBJ is the best president for Black people since when? What president has ever been the best president for Black people?
Oh man. Hey, you got a buck dance. I mean, I get dough dance in her case. She got a dough dance. But all right.
Was specifically put into place to help Black Americans. I think now we see, COVID aid policies even being discussed as to being race conscious and how they're distributed. You're probably more familiar, at least as familiar as I am, with the spread of race conscious policies across America. The point that I am making is that those policies have been disastrous for everyone, not just white or Asian people who are the subjects of so-called reverse racism and reverse discrimination, but the data would suggest are also bad for Black Americans too, in different ways.
Like what?
And so if we didn't have this sort of race conscious epidemic in the country, I would have no reason to and would not be calling out any statistics that have to do specifically with Black Americans. And it's a shame, and it makes me a little sad to know.
It's funny he says this because I'm sure you may have heard by now what the Asian community is going through right now. Literally a little less than probably a little over a week. I'm not sure of the timeline of affirmative action being
9 days.
overturned. Huh?
I think it was the 30th, so 9 days.
Yeah,
Just
so
about,
like a
just
little
about
over
10 days. 9, 10
yeah, a little
days.
over a week.
Yeah.
Now they are sitting there complaining about how they're not getting these certain jobs in the tech field and all types of stuff like that. And I said, we called it, and it was so easy to call. We had said, y'all overturning affirmative action right now is going to come back and bite you later. Who knew that later was going to be a little over a week? I'm thinking it's going to maybe be at least a month or a little bit longer, but a little over a week. Because Phil, I was listening to his playback from a video that he premiered last night when I was at the gym this morning, and how they are now complaining about racism in the tech field. I'm like, hold on, y'all just voted to overturn affirmative action for colleges. Now you're complaining literally like a little over a week later about you not getting jobs in tech. We told y'all who were the ones that was causing you not to get those jobs and who was the ones that was benefiting the most from affirmative action, but y'all swore up and down it was Black people. Y'all know y'all are gonna have to hold your own wontons. Don't look over here. Y'all gonna have to fight that battle by yourselves.
And it's his people doing the most racism.
Yep. Them chickens came home to roost rather quickly.
So I said a year.
Yeah, I gave it way longer. I gave it way longer than a little over a week. Who knew it was going to happen this fast?
Right. Because I said it's going to be fun when these kids filling out applications next year. That's where we're going to really see it. But damn, I mean, they already going in.
Right. And I think I saw maybe, because I'm going to talk about it on my stream on Friday. I think I came across maybe 3 different articles that all they would stem from 3 different places, but they all link back to the same thing.
But he loved Black folk, don't he? I'm starting to think it was Rob that did him dirty. He from Ohio.
I don't know if Rob is still in the chat.
Oh, he lurking. Oh, you know what? Yeah, he lurking. Wonton anti-Black. We're gonna be nice here today. Maybe we'll see.
Know that, if I've been communicating ways that make someone feel like I'm pinning blame on Black Americans, that's not what I'm doing.
Lie.
I'm attempting to. Clearly, I can reflect a little bit on how to do this, on how to do this more effectively, but placing blame on government policies that use race consciousness as a smokescreen to deflect accountability for their actual failures, even to the very Black community that they profess.
What the fuck? What is this? This is
you see how he contradicted himself? You see how he just contradicted himself in like 10 seconds?
Yes.
He's going for a personal best. He doesn't even space out his contradictions. Like, you know how some people say one thing and then they contradict themselves maybe like 10 or 15 minutes later because you might have forgotten what they said 10 or 15 minutes ago with all the other conversation. This man literally does it within 10 to 15 seconds of each other. They're so close by. That's why it's easy to catch him every time he lies. It's so easy.
Oh my God.
I know about 30 minutes. Shut your face right now.
What is this guy on, man? I don't know what this guy... he's making it. This is such great content. Please like, share, and subscribe.
You probably see it. I streamed it onto my side too. So,
hey, get the content, bro. Maybe you'll get 10 grand off of this, but I apologize in advance because I know the trolls are coming. I know. I should say the bots. I shouldn't say trolls. The bots are coming. They're going to inundate you, but we know how you do it. You're a lot nicer than me. I at least have a conversation with them. You just block them.
Right. Who got the time to be dealing with them?
There you go. But he loved Black people. I'm telling you, somebody put that chocolate on him and let me stop. No, I'm not going to stop. One Black woman who put the chocolate on him in high school. We blame you for this.
I wouldn't be surprised if if Vivek had a little bit of incel vibes to him. He strikes me as the type with the way that he keeps talking about black people. That's what I would like to know. Where did this obsession with black people come from? You claim that it's not this and it's not that, but it definitely is this and it's definitely
remember
that.
what he said. He said that he grew up, when he first went to school, he went to an all-black school. In his grade school days.
You know, a lot of times, a lot of people like himself always claim that, that they were the ones that were bullied. When you look deep below the surface, they were the ones doing the bullying. And then when people check them, then that's when they was trying. Then that's when they want to cry wolf.
Yeah. I wonder. Well, we'll save that. We'll save this for later. But back, Vivek.
To support. So that's where I'm coming from. And I just want you to know that. Not some sort of, I guess you would use the word trope.
Well,
it's not the motivation, at least.
Again, speaking for, a Black conservative, looking at the impact that you're having, one has to question why you bring up, because you bring it up a lot of Black issues, but when you bring it up, it's usually to white audiences. And so it's bad optics for one. But for two, what are you doing for Black outreach? If your goal is bringing up the metrics that are happening in the Black community,
thank you.
We're in Michigan.
Yeah.
Detroit is right here.
Let's do it. I'm in. Let's do it. So, I mean, I'm in this to achieve the same goal you want to achieve. So I'm like hesitant to sort of like cite and like push back and like be defensive, because that's not the point. I want to improve. I want us to be better. But since you're asking just, specifically, I mean, I think we're doing more than most Republicans do. Certainly I went to New England College, majority Black, based on what I could see in the audience, at least, showing up. I'm told that other Republican candidates don't go unless the questions are pre-screened. Well, you can't sit across the table from Xi Jinping if you're afraid of a 21-year-old college student. That's my rule of thumb. Right? I went to.
What school did you go to? He still hasn't mentioned what school this is.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the school is still very much in existence.
Yeah, but here, oh God. So you tell me this woman flew all the way from Arizona to go hear this man talk? All right, whatever. Do your thing.
Rural all-Black church in South Carolina, which I'm told is mostly Democrats. We didn't ask about the partisan affiliation. We're showing up, and I want to show up, right? I mean, I think that there's people working in this campaign.
Pause it right quick, kid. When's the last time this man has even spoken in a room with even 10 Black people in it? Because every time I see him talking to a group of people, it's a bunch of white people in there. No matter how big or small the crowd may be. And every time he's in the room talking to them, somehow, some way, he manages to shoehorn Black people into the conversation with no Black person around. It reminds me of that dude out in Tulsa that was trying to say, well, not trying to say, he did say that the Tulsa race massacre or race riot had nothing to do with race. It's literally in the title. And he said that to a group of white people, not one Black person around. They love talking about Black people when Black people are not around. That's literally the equivalent of talking about someone behind their back, which is one of the most disrespectful things you can do. If you have an issue with somebody, you need to tell them, like, face to face. At least that's how I was raised. I don't know how he was raised.
Yeah. Okay, Vivek. I'll have a question for you later, but continue talking.
Paid staff, proxies, advisors, volunteers, many of whom are, Black in the truest sense of that word, many generations in.
What the fuck?
I personally
he's
don't.
Coming off the fly. This man does not have a plan.
What the fuck?
He does not have a plan. He is glitching. So he is glitching right in front of our eyes. I tell you, Teslinger had him shook. He is.
Dude, he created a whole scholarship after talking to her.
He's not going to he's not going to let that one down. Like he's trying to be on P's and Q's, but he's not on 1P or 1Q. That man is literally sitting lopsided.
Oh my God.
Would you stop doing that? Just stop.
And kid, you know how you like to always say that they need to come and talk to us? Well, like DSA once said in the chat, he and those of his ilk don't know how to talk to us, which is why they don't come to talk to us. Because you see how he is right now. And this is him just in front of one person. Imagine him in a crowd of 20, 30, 40, 50 black people. He could not handle it. He would literally freeze up. I would be surprisingly shocked if he actually showed up. The thing is, he's burnt every bridge possible with black people, specifically black Americans in this establishment, that no one's going to want to talk to him unless it's in an intimate setting like we're seeing right now.
I would love, if I had the funds, bring him down to the Fox Theater down here. That holds about a couple thousand seats, and you sit there and talk to black folks. I would pick, boy, because I'm telling you, he don't got this energy in front of black folk. I can see it. He don't got this energy.
He doesn't. Like I said, he doesn't know how to talk. He doesn't know how to talk to us. And the thing is, we are easy.
His wife screened this chick.
There you go. He gonna be screening a lot of black people after what happened on the Breakfast Club. Because his wife, because I'm willing to bet his wife didn't screen that.
Facts.
But I wonder if his wife would screen a non-black person, or is it just the black?
Now,
people?
which one?
That
who we talking about? Who we talking about? Now, if it's on the left, yes. If it was someone like Lauren Chen, no.
And you want to know so funny? This man has only had 4 encounters with black people. Just 4. Don Lemon, Teslin, this woman right here, and Abby Phillip. In all 4 of those times, he was caught lacking.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the one that surprised all of
it's technically 5.
Who was the 5th one?
The Coonstress.
She talked to him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That was going to be the other thing that I was going to play.
Like I said, 4.
Yeah. She talked to the Coonstress. And of course, she was on her knees for this man.
She don't count. That's why I don't count her. So 4.
Say less. I forgot about the gray and black fur. I forgot that's a different species. I forgot that's on me. That's on me. Oh yeah, continue, Vivek.
And to the optics, because I'd rather just speak truth at every step of the way to everyone. But if you're telling me that there's ways, if you'd be open, do you live in Michigan?
No, I live in Arizona.
You live in Arizona still. Okay. But you came here. Thank you for that. I so appreciate that. When we come to Arizona, but maybe even while you're here in the short time, open up some channels for us in Detroit. Absolutely, we'll show up. And I think the people.
We know where in Detroit you're gonna go. Don't even tell that lie.
And we know which part he's not going to.
Exactly. You ain't going to the east side. You ain't going to the west side. You going to Dearborn, East Lansing. Don't even tell that lie.
Ypsilanti.
Yes, sir. Hell, you'll go to goddamn University of Michigan because they got a big South Asian population.
He ain't going over there near where Hitsville used to be at.
You ain't going where they had the exterior shot of Martin's apartment. We know you ain't going to do it. Go on 8 Mile, sir. The real 8 Mile, not the one that Eminem fictionalized.
Yeah, because I've been to Detroit. I've been to Detroit one time, and I've seen their hood, and it's the hood for real. It is the hood for real.
Go to Pontiac. Go to Highland Park, please. Go ahead.
He ain't going over there.
Go to Flint. Drink some water like Obama did. Too much?
Not enough.
There you go.
People, you're right, human beings, whatever your skin color is, give you credit for showing up and being able to face somebody who may on the face of it subscribe to a different political partisan affiliation or whatever. But I believe human beings are open. We're not animals. We're open to persuasion. That's what makes us different from animals. Politicians in both parties view the general elections as, how people are going to vote, not believing it as I think you do, that we can actually change it. So I'm very open to that. And more is good. I think we're already doing some, maybe more than you give me credit for, but I don't want to be defensive. We'll do more of it, and I'm all in for it.
Well, I think.
But then later on the month after you film this, you were defensive.
Right.
By the way, folks, he filmed this May 8th. He just put it up the other day.
Wow, I wouldn't have known that. Like, I didn't know that he recorded this back in
The website.
May.
He had it on our website, and it said, "Yeah, we filmed this May 8th." I was like, "Oh, okay." A lot can change in 30 days, can't it? All right, brother. Go ahead. You're not my brother, but you're a brother from a curry mother. Fucked up.
I think the images that we see on Twitter, right? And Twitter's not the gist of everything. It's not all that you do. But what we see on Twitter is you speaking mostly to small white audiences. But then you'll be throwing out these Black statistics and the numbers are somewhat skewed.
And that's what I was saying.
It looks like you're trying to give red meat for the base rather than actually impact the community that you're speaking about.
Did we find somebody that's going to hold MAGA accountable?
And the thing is, she's not
a Black person.
And the thing is, she's not lying, because I've told my audience several times ever since Vivek has got on my radar that if you go to his page, his Twitter account is literally a shrine on there of him talking about Black people. And when you look at the comments, it's nothing but a bunch of white people saying, "Yeah, Vivek, you right. They're this, they're that. We need to get them up out of here." And like literally, a lot of them sound very, and I can't believe I'm about to use this word, but a lot of them sound very xenophobic in his comment section. Like, y'all should see, for those of y'all who aren't on Twitter, some of the stuff that they put up there. One of these days I'm going in, I'm gonna screenshot some of the threads, and you'll be able to see what they're saying there. And of course, on Elon Musk's Twitter, that's within community guideline standings.
And let it ride. But you push back a little bit, then they want to suspend you for 7 days.
Right.
Well, hey, it's all good. Oh man, somebody holding MAGA accountable that's Black. I can't believe it.
They're not gonna like that, but who cares what they don't do and not like? They don't like taking baths, and I don't like that.
There you go.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Now, when you talk about affirmative action, you specify race-based affirmative action, but white women have been the #1 benefactors of affirmative action. So why do you never mention that?
Say more about that.
I mean, that's the fact. I mean, when you
like
mention
that.
affirmative,
I didn't even mean to laugh at that part. I promise you, I didn't even mean to laugh when he said that, because he looked like he was about to say something else to try to rebut what she was saying, but he caught himself and just crossed his hands and said, "Say more." And the way he leaned into it, like you don't know. Come on now, the stats have been around for years that white women are the biggest benefactors of affirmative action. This goes back decades. Everybody knows this.
Hold on. Hayward, hang on 1 second. What does this comment mean? This is your so-called Black woman. We're not putting her over like that. We're putting her over for the fact that she's asking the questions that need to be asked. Because honestly, she said America first, and she's talking about holding the Republican Party accountable. We thought you were going to softball her. She's actually asking this man questions. So I don't know what this means. She's not our Black woman. She's a Black woman. So I don't know what this comment means. So maybe you can clarify it for me. Back to the video.
You limit it to race-based, but affirmative action in general has benefited statistically white women the most. So in employment, in jobs.
So look, I'm all in for merit. I don't want any. I mean, sexual orientation is a really popular one now too. That is a particularly peculiar one because until very recently, you weren't even allowed to ask about sexual orientation. So how could you actually have sexual orientation favorable policies unless you ask about it? So I'm all in for.
Hey Vivek, you knew the LGBTQ were amassing power since 2011. You knew this. You were busy making medicine. Why don't you say something before that? You saw them for 12 years trying to change the status quo. You didn't say a word. Nigga, nobody knows you. You are on Ohio's coffee venereal disease team. Nobody knows you. I had to go dig up the fact that you were interviewed by the State Department in 2011. Nobody knows you. But then you have your troll bots talking about he's a political insider. How are you a political insider if the State Department knew about you 12 years ago? You were literally working with the government on Ebola medicine.
You got a troll in here right now, kid. This DP person.
Oh, double penetrated? Is that an avatar of a dog? Well, they got to tell themselves. Okay. Should I do it or should I not do it? I'm not gonna snipe them yet. Should I respond to how stupid they are?
Do it. I sound like
cool.
Senator Palpatine. Do it.
Let's go. Okay, let's take Vivek off the screen for a minute. Okay, you said this lady needs to know, and facts are as follows: the crime rights and ongoing issues in society are done by majority Black Americans. Great. Check this out. Would you like me to pull up the FBI stats that show that white folk are sitting there doing most of the crime? Should I do that for you?
I called them a troll, and now they done glitched, and now they're trolling what troll this are facts.
that is facts. How many times have you been on there? Looks like a golden retriever you have in your avatar. How many times have you galloped in your nice golden skin that you can never get and looked at them FBI stats one time? Because we do this over here, but I know your daddy over here with the good hair, he is on the screen getting cooked by Black people. Y'all don't like that because you think we're just dumb gorillas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, guess what? A gorilla can. What is the PSI that they can crush? What was that again? Over 1,000? Yeah, that's what we do with facts over here, sir. When you start lying, we crush them. Go on the FBI site one time and look at your crime stats.
They'll only pull up the homicide murder one because that's the one
they do more. Remember, I played it the other day. They're number one.
Oh,
we're number two by a slight majority. But who are the biggest victims? Us, right? Even though they like to say it's white people. Who get the most hate crimes put on them? Us. It's okay. I get it. Mila Kunis messed y'all up. She fucked the game up. She told y'all deepest, darkest secret, and y'all don't like it. Everything now is coming to light.
About the washing?
It's okay. When you don't wash frequently, it clouds your brain. You could go look this up. Blacklight, if he's still in here, can back me up on this. There's certain bacteria you have to get out of your body. I suggest before you come in here again and troll, get you a nice detox smoothie, load up your phone on 100, and go look at some stats. Do some research. Don't wait for Fox News or OAN or Newsmax or Breitbart to tell you how to tie your shoelaces, if you can even do that. Because we know how white people like to slide into their shoes nowadays. We get it. Jay Cage, be nice. Be nice. We be nice over here.
Be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
We will not stoop down to their level. We're not going to do that.
Be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
Remember, they think about us more than we think about them.
Mm-hmm. Remember, this is streaming from a relatively small channel.
Yes, sir.
And they find their way over here.
Yes, sir.
But
you notice too, he didn't go with your comment thread to do that. He came
to yours.
Exactly. And you put ramen noodles. You a little slick muff.
That's what Rob had said in the chat earlier. I see he said I got a notification that said Taurean Rain reloaded ramen noodles.
I thought, yeah, you think about like Taurean Rain. Wait, he's gonna grift views off eating ramen noodles.
Right.
But I like what you did. Hey, he disappeared.
Yeah, they probably got him up out of there.
Well, maybe Rob got him. I don't know. But yeah. So whoever that was fun. I appreciate that. Let me get off. Even though I plan not to be negative on Sundays, but that can't work. But back to your activity while we watch this video. I know we interrupted you this with your dog.
You limit it to race-based, and it's not just affirmative action, and you discount.
Well, I'm not going to limit it to race. I don't limit it to race-based. I don't know how far back of my background you're aware of, but NASDAQ, for example, I was the only critic in this country publicly of it. NASDAQ adopted a rule saying that a public company could not list on NASDAQ unless they actually had a diverse board on 3 axes: race, gender, and sexual orientation. So one of the reasons for doing it is they say they wanted to foster diversity of thought in the boardroom. What I said is, if you want diversity of thought, why not actually add, and somebody actually put up a proposal to this effect, disability status, veteran status, et cetera, to the list. They rejected that because they said that that would have the effect of not advancing the desired forms of diversity. So I'm against all of that.
Okay.
I'm against.
Today in your
dead set against all of that. Yep.
Today you specifically said race-based.
Well,
so that's what caught my
Johnson's.
ear.
I think Lyndon Johnson's executive order was specifically race conscious in that respect. So when I think about what a president can do, I think what I said in there is because that's something a president can do. What I mean by that is we take a pen and we cross out that executive order. Mm-hmm. So that's 11246 is a very specific executive order implemented by Lyndon Johnson. Those broader policies are going to require legislation. Those broader policies are going to require cultural change. One of the things that's hard about being a president is that there's limits on what you can do, but that's in the narrow sense where I was focused there.
So you acknowledge that the president has limited power, but you said Trump didn't go far enough. How far do you think the white supremacist machine is going to let you go?
Now I just realized what his headline looks like.
Oh no, go ahead.
Vegeta.
Yeah, go.
He got that ba-da-ba-ba-bum, I'm loving it headline.
This man said Vegeta.
Who cares?
I don't care about his hairline. His hairline. This is, you know what this is? This is him trying to be Elvis. This is Elvis. This is Elvis if he was a politician. All he needs is That's all he needs, and a peanut butter and banana and bacon sandwich.
Wow.
And a half an eaten pork chop. Oh my God, bro.
We gonna keep this? Nigga.
We're not even halfway yet. I'm not interested in this man.
Neither am I. But it makes for good content, you know?
Yes. Well, I mean, when I'm not interested, like I'm not looking at him as a viable candidate, as an alternative.
Of course not.
Jesus. Y'all gonna leave his V-neck hairline alone. Do you know how much grease it takes to have that not move? Damn. She said kids' jokes are so funny. Tori don't be getting them. Leave Torian alone. Torian got them what they call them, Black American jokes, them Southern jokes. I don't be getting some of them jokes y'all be saying. I'll just be like, all right, I'm just in my Jamaican bubble. All right, back to it. She's doing well so far. Maybe that's why he was so hostile to Teslin, because he saw her. Just something to think about.
Somebody's going to talk about gender quotas or sexual orientation quotas. I'm dead set against it. So I think it sounds like we might be on the same page on that.
Yeah, we're on the same page in most things. It's just the manner that it's delivered as applied to the group of people that I'm trying to attract to at least become independent. It gets in the way of your message.
Can I ask you kind of a like an open?
Wait a minute. Play that again. Say that again.
I heard something about independent.
I know. That's why I want her to say it again.
But that's in the narrow sense where I was focused there. But if somebody's going to talk about gender quotas or sexual orientation quotas, I'm dead set against it. So I think it sounds like we might be on the same page on that.
Yeah, we're on the same page in most things. It's just the manner that it's delivered as applied to the group of people that I'm trying to attract to at least become independent.
Ma'am, you're a Republican trying to bring over independence? That doesn't make sense.
But she said to at least be independent.
So why aren't you leading by example and being independent?
I think she just revealed her grift.
That's what I'm saying. You should be independent, not a Republican.
Mm-hmm. But everybody got to pick a side, quote unquote. They can't stand in the middle.
Why? Because you want to go vote? You want to just go vote? Is that what it is?
They want to get their "I voted" sticker.
Jesus. I don't get this shit. Brother, I don't know how y'all do it. Sometimes it should be exhausting, bro.
It is.
How do you?
But I sleep well at night, though. I don't know how they sleep.
I'm glad you do. Because I don't understand this right here. Ma'am, you should be independent. You're a Republican trying to get Democrats to go independent. So you're not even selling your party, and you wonder why there's not black people that are Republican.
And it's not hard to make that switch. You just go right on the site and say, hey, I want to be independent. And just make the switch. And they'll send you the card. They'll take you off of whatever you was once on and say, hey, you're now independent. And they'll send you your card.
I don't get...
You know what it is? Because she probably figures she'll probably get more people on that side rather than being independent, because independent is not popular or trendy to talk about. So it's like it's always that thing of that war, that left versus right thing. Independent, they feel like they don't have a place there in the war. My thing is, why would you want to get in the middle of whatever it is they got going on?
Yeah, but they're the ones always that's the most coveted vote, the independent vote. And we get to talk about people on both sides.
Yeah. And it's such a fun thing to do.
Oh, yes. But Cameron Jones, you said Bruce Beefcake should challenge him to a haircut match. No, you good. I don't think he wins. He not finna win that. Come on.
And that's another thing. I can't get over that hump in his head either.
Do the Humpty Hump.
That thing looked like a tidal wave.
Lord. All right. Do you think he wears a do-rag to bed?
Hell no.
All right, say less. Say less. I'll wait for somebody. Somebody do that for me. Make a picture with Vivek with a do-rag. I need that.
It gets in the way of your message.
Can I ask you kind of just like an opening up kind of question here? Because I just think the nature of what struck me was how heartfelt some of your commentary was. Mm-hmm. And Twitter's a hard medium to get heart across through, but it came across to me. I felt like we made contact, even though it was through this complex, disintermediated, internet thing. You're framing this conversation in terms of a goal-oriented point of bringing along other people, and that's a good goal. I'm sensing a little bit of personal hurt in there too. Am I wrong about that? Or do you feel like there was some element of feeling personally hurt by the things I was saying, or is it just a tactical point that you would make?
I don't know if hurt is the right word. I think annoyed.
Okay.
Would probably be closer to it, mainly because I've been reaching out to, say, Rana or, different people in local my Arizona. What are, America First? What are Republicans? What's the RNC doing for minority outreach? Why are we surrendering the cities to the Democrats? They just had a race in Chicago, and we didn't even put up a Republican candidate. It's like we've abandoned the cities. Now, I'm actually from Ohio. So,
are you?
Yeah.
From where?
I'm from Heber Heights.
Okay.
Right. I was raised in Heber Heights. We moved out to California.
Almost born and raised, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first 10 years of my life. And then we moved to California. So I'm definitely from the suburbs. But I take what's going on in the city to heart, because someone has. Everyone can't just abandon the cities. But I spent a lot of time, I spent the past 4 years in Mississippi. So I also recognize when you talk about the revival of America, I guess I don't feel the same way because I feel like America is the greatest country on earth. Like in my day-to-day, I get pushback from other Black people because I say in my day-to-day life, I don't experience racism on a daily basis, right?
Yet you committed. Should we show them the tweet again?
Oh, yeah. Show them for the people that wasn't here earlier.
If you came in late, remember, share, like, and subscribe. Share, like, and subscribe because Taurean and I are not like other YouTubers. We're different. But she put up a tweet, folk. I need y'all to see this tweet. This chick, man. You always catch them in lies. You always got to catch them in the lie. This chick said just now that she didn't experience racism. Okay, that's fine. I don't know how, as a Black person, you escaped racism, but okay, say less. Yet you offered to show a teenager
and his mother
his guns, your guns, because they're dating your daughter and you don't want him to be a teenager. I think this is pretty racist because number one, we don't know what the demographic of this boy is. That's one thing. But number two, you're as a Black woman, and we're going to assume your husband is Black. You don't go up to a young man and tell him, I have 4 guns, and you'll have to see me if you do anything to disturb that. But I'm going to assume the boy is Black because I don't think he would pull that on a white man. But yeah, this is the chick. She went viral for this on Twitter.
14.1 million views since June 11th.
Mm-hmm. The quoted tweets were some of the funniest ever. Then when she got called out on it, of course, she gave all the heat to Black men, and then she was real nice to them white boys. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. But you want to talk about racism. Let's hear what she said.
I think, I get along with my neighbors. It's on Twitter where I fight with people, right? Most people don't care about politics in their day-to-day life. I did a poll, though, right? So I promised my Twitter people that I would do this. I did a poll and I said, what are the number one issues that you're facing? What are the number one problems? They said the economy. Mm-hmm. So as to what a president can do, I know that you have your overarching theme of a revival and, explaining what an American is, but we really want you to lean into the nuts and bolts of what Vivek is going to do. And especially, you're up against Donald Trump. So how is your presidency going to be different? Let me tick these off real quick, just as I promised them they would. Okay. They would. Economy issues, because Americans are hurting. Mm-hmm. School choice, right? Dual track education. So again, this is another area.
Love it. I know what you mean.
When you're talking about Black and brown in cities, the number one thing is education. The school to prison pipeline, right? But if you take dual track education.
Mm-hmm. Then she doing school to prison pipeline. That's mainly affecting Black kids, specifically Black boys.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
And there you go writing again. How you talking and you writing? You got a whole team. They can write this shit down for you. You can this is your podcast. You can literally play it back. You're being disrespectful. Vivek. This is your American Economy Initiative. This is MAGA 2.0. This is MAGA 2.0, sir. But I don't know what I'm talking about. This is literally Donald Trump's MAGA platform. All right. America first didn't start in 2016. It started in 1776. Okay. All right, sir. You got it.
The schools, a kid can come out and he can come out
Pause
with
right quick because I just had
skills
Yep.
that he
Yes, sir.
It's funny. He said America. He said it started in 1776. Yeah, his lineage didn't come here until like the 70s. And I'm talking about the 1970s,
Maybe the
not
80s.
the 17th,
Maybe the 80s.
maybe the 80s, maybe the 80s.
But he wants to talk for you on the world stage, Taurean. He wants to talk for me on the world stage. He wants to talk for the 325 people that are in watching this video on the world stage in front of Xi Jinping. The man whose operatives are punking Jamaica right now. The man whose operatives are leading BRICS conversations. India is not number one. China is number one. Russia's number two. But okay, you got it. You got it. Keep writing while she's talking. Go ahead.
can then be
Absolutely.
immediately employable. And
Yep.
these kids now, they don't have to be bored.
Yep.
They can come out, they can make jobs, and that will solve a lot. Definitely the nuclear family. But as a president, there's not much that you can do.
I'm not sure. Let's actually. So let me speak to the first
He's
element of
stuttering like
that,
crazy.
the economy piece, and then I have a question for you about that last point on the nuclear family.
Sure.
So on the economy piece,
Are we allowed to call him Roland Ramaswamy?
Are you lying to call him what?
Roland Ramaswamy?
It don't matter to me.
Say
I already
less.
got my nickname for him.
Yes, we know. Legendary nickname. I started seeing it trending on Twitter.
It was.
I saw a whole bunch of people saying Robin Noodles when they had talking about it. I was like, fucking Taurean, man.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even peep that.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of people calling him Robin Noodles. I was like, this motherfucker. I fuck with him heavy, man. I fuck with you heavy. I guess my vivacious didn't work, so I grifted off yours. I just call him vivacious ramen noodles. But, all right, go ahead.
I mean, you heard me a little bit in there today. I think the next president has both the responsibility and the ability to deliver economic growth. In fact, the thing that frustrates me about both parties is nobody's talking about GDP growth, which is our single most unifying way out of our economic morass, not cutting Social Security, not having to adopt some tax increases that put us on that further path of national decline. Energy is the number one input into the economy, number one input to inflation.
That is a Trump talking point. Folks.
But then again, he already knew that.
I know. Yeah, but folks, I told people in the comment thread when they were yelling at me, he needs to tell me something different. This is literally MAGA you're just reciting. You're just a brown face saying it. I need you to tell me something different. You're talking about the GDP growth. Great. We understand that. Fix the supply chain. That's the quickest way for you to get that done. Y'all don't want to do that. I haven't heard you say anything about the supply chain, especially in California. There's also another thing you can do. More exports, but that would go to fixing the supply chain. Number 3, and this just came out, put Black people to work. We have over 300,000 Black Americans that are unemployed right now. You want to talk about us, but you don't want to help us. And you're trying to get our vote for those who do vote. And he knows what the problems are and the solutions. He won't do it because he feels like he's going to piss off his white base. I'm good on him.
I personally don't know one Black person that supports him.
Oh, I've seen a few.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about those individuals. I know who you're talking about, but I don't know anyone of sane mind who's not grifting who supports him.
Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Nah. Well, you know what? We'll find out after the 23rd. We'll find out.
Oh, yes.
We'll find out. Because from what we saw with the Breakfast Club, I seen a few Black people in there trying to hold Tesla into the fire. And I'm like, do you understand that she's actually fighting for you? But all right, I get it. I get it.
It's self-inflicted. We tell ourselves here that we can't emit carbon in this country, but are perfectly fine with carbon emissions halfway around the world in places like China, where, by the way, methane leakage is worse than it is in the United States, and methane is supposedly
worser.
He had to correct himself.
Worser.
With that.
You went to Harvard, sir. And what was it? I think Yale Law School. Worser. Yeah, I think I'm good on affirmative action not being around colleges anymore. Make English fun again. The fuck? Make grammar correct again. Y'all stop calling him Megamind. What the fuck? Leave that man alone. I'm kidding. Embrace your villainy. Evolve your villainy. Fuck this man. It's anti-black racist.
80 times worse for global warming than carbon dioxide. We're hostile to nuclear energy, which is the actually single greatest form of carbon-free energy production known to mankind, let alone drilling, fracking coal. There's a coal plant in Illinois that's about to go out of business, even though the only thing it sends out is actually steam, H2O, just because we've gone in this fetishized habit. Unleash American energy. That's the first element of GDP growth. Number two is putting people back to work. We have paid people to stay home for a long time. Any business in this country, the number one obstacle to growing right now is people at work. And look, I some of this gets pretty technical, so much that I get criticized for it. But look at my last piece in the Wall Street Journal last week about Federal Reserve reform.
I have one.
That's how you
comment.
Actually unlock the economy.
Because you're brilliant. That's obvious.
I don't know about that, but I'm sharing you with my beliefs are. Yeah.
But Donald Trump has been there and done that. Ooh. Right? He was awesome for our economy. So I think it's going to be a hard lift.
Ooh. You saw that, right? You heard that.
Yeah.
She brought up Trump and then he tried to minimize. Boy.
He said for 3 years.
For 3 years.
Sound like him for 3 years.
Hey, what did he do for 3 years, sir? It was notable. Bruh. This man, he wants to be Trump so bad.
It reminds you of that old Janet Jackson song, What Have You Done For Me Lately? That's the question we asked to you, Vivek. What are you going to do currently now? Because it seems to me like you're just biting off of what's already been done. And not even to improve and expound on it, but just to copy it.
No, yes, sir. Hey, PD Chicago, hello. No, she didn't sneak this in. She's telling this man the truth. You're trying to be Trump. She didn't want to come out and say it. You're trying to be Trump. What is different about you? The fuck? For 3 years. Okay, sir. For 3 years. He got the economy to a level where we were energy independent. People had money in their pocket. For you YouTubers, the grift was real.
Too real.
Way too real. Them checks were beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And then they did what they did. And now the checks ain't beautiful no more. The economy is in shambles. You went and elected Biden because everybody but Trump. God damn it. I said his name. Shit.
Insult to my existence.
Damn it, I hate saying that man's name. But you're not telling me anything different. You're a businessman. What are some of your ideas that Trump didn't think of? You're telling me nothing. This guy, he's great. He's going to be our president. I'm just kidding, folks. I don't like. There's no way.
Boo this man!
Shit.
Trust Vivek, who's never held office, versus Donald Trump, who's the tried and true, who everybody across the board, African Americans, anybody did better under the Donald Trump presidency.
I think what's tried and true.
How are we going to trust you? There's going to be a period of time that you're going to have to learn. You've never been in public office before.
And this is a year-long process, a year and a half.
And that's the same thing that Tesla said to him on the Breakfast Club, that he's never held a public, he's never been in a leadership position.
So, but because she's Republican, he's giving her grace.
Mm-hmm. I bet you the people in the comments probably didn't call her hostile.
Hell no. You want to look at the comments when this is done?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I still got it loaded up. Boy. That's why I said when he went and talked to Tesla, he saw her. But she didn't give him that much push. Tesla gave him more pushback. He ain't like that. This bastard.
Half-long process for a reason. It's a good question. I think it's what everyone's going to have to ask themselves. I think the tried and true model actually is putting the outsider in the White House. I think it takes
You're not an outsider.
Right, that outside perspective to have
not even that. The State Department knew about you for 12 years. You're not an outsider, sir. You worked on Ebola drugs. You're not an outsider, sir. You were on Ohio's coffee venereal disease team. You're not an outsider, sir. Sir, you literally had your company acquired by another company. You had to go through the Federal Trade Commission and SEC for that. You're not a political outsider, sir. I need you to stop saying this. Jesus.
Complete disrespect and complete a good kind of disregard for the norms of the way it's always been done. And I think you go from being the outsider to eventually becoming part of the establishment. 8 years in, I probably will be too. You got fresh blood that comes along. You pass on that torch.
8 years. He's already predicting he's going to get 2 terms. You hear him?
He's predicting he's going to get 2 terms.
You hear what he just said?
If he says so.
You're going to have to ask himself. I think the tried and true model actually is putting the outsider in the White House. I think it takes that outside perspective to have complete disrespect and a good kind of disregard for the norms of the way it's always been done. And I think you go from being the outsider to eventually becoming part of the establishment. 8 years in, I probably will be too.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Tailor made. Hello. You said his wiki was updated today to add a leadership role at Harvard as president of political union. Tesla broke this man.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I got a perfect picture that I'm gonna make later. She broke this man. He goes on the Breakfast Club. He comes out. Now he gets his Wikipedia changed again after having it deleted that he was part of Soros's camp. And now he changed. He created scholarships. Man, she broke.
I need to know from all his bots what they think about that. What's the irony that gets updated on his wiki page after he got flamed on the Breakfast Club?
Mm-hmm. Nah, they won't.
Why wasn't it there prior to that?
I don't know, brother. I don't know.
You got fresh blood that comes along. You pass on that torch and move on. Donald Trump did a great job on creating a Supreme Court that agrees with my view on executive power, on actually saying that the branches of government that report into the executive branch report to the president. He talked about draining the swamp. He didn't get there. But he did lay a foundation for a Supreme Court that agrees with that view. Well, I can use that court to when we're sued, when we shut down the Department of Education or any number of other agencies. When we are sued, we go to that Supreme Court and we win. Trump gets credit for that. But that's the foundation that I leave for the next guy who then has that judicial precedent locked in to actually be a president that was unconstrained. And so I think that this, in the GOP, sometimes if I have one criticism of our party, it's that we obsess over this question of the who without actually asking the question of the what and the why. What do we stand for? And why do we actually stand for it? And it's not, I said that in there, I'll say it here. It's not being done by us. It wasn't done by Donald Trump. It won't be done by me. I also believe, I'm a person of faith, that I believe it's being done through us. And I think that this idea of Trump is not a substitute for Christ. Okay, there is no Messiah.
This is a popularity contest for him. Like I said, he has no plan. He just wants to put himself out there. In Black Knight discussion, that got me too when he said a person of faith. It works through me. Okay.
I'm going to fight all these urges, my brother.
When all else fails, bring up the slave manual. Bring up the religion of slavery. Sir, that's not going to endear you to the Midwest. The Midwest is hurting. The Midwest are losing factory jobs. Land is being taken by the Chinese. What are you going to do about that? They don't care about God right now. The independent voter does not care about God right now. The Democrat vote that you're going to have to try to siphon to win does not care about God right now. If God was so omnipotent, then you would have the solutions. We would have already had one president that would have fixed everything. That doesn't exist. And if God was so omnipotent, Black people would be exactly where they should be. But y'all don't want to have that conversation, and I'm not going to do it here today. Even though it's Sunday and I'm allowed to. I'm not going to do it. God wouldn't have allowed gods in Egypt to be made and sold onto us. But that's another subject for another day. They love bringing up Cesar Borgia. And look at his face. You know he full of shit.
He looked like he got touched by that outbreak monkey.
Jesus Christ.
In politics, a higher power is working through us to revive this great nation we have, one nation under God. And so part of our model is to actually restore that vision. It's us doing this. I'm a vehicle. You are a vehicle.
Oh my God.
You've been put here for a reason. I've been put here for a reason.
I said I broke down one.
Huh?
I said I broke down one.
Oh my God. Now he's a vessel. Who meds is this? He's a vehicle. He's a Triptychon.
All I can hope is that he doesn't drop out before the 23rd. Please don't drop out. I want you to further embarrass yourself.
Yes. Are you Starscream now? What is this? Hey, Vivek people, explain your man to me. I'm confused here. Why did he lead with this, though, about God? I'm just asking, Brother Taurean. Why didn't he lead with God first?
God wasn't a part of his grift.
That's the ultimate grift. Pastor is the ultimate grift machine.
We all know this guy's ass backwards.
Is that scissor? This guy, man. This guy's great. He's so great. He's so full of content, man. Man. You want him to stay all the way through? Or at least just to the debate?
Just to the debate, because I don't think he's gonna make it past that debate.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, he got the funds to get it, but man,
he's gonna be dead last.
You
think it's somebody else? You think
he's probably gonna be in the middle? He's gonna be in the middle. Probably Will Hurd, because he just came in, unless he does something spectacular. I don't even think. You know what I think? I think a lot of these people ain't even gonna be able to really talk.
There's gonna be a lot of mudslinging on that stage.
Oh my God, Tim Scott, you better watch yourself, brother. Trump ain't gonna save you that night. But I want to go back to something he said.
Done by Donald Trump. It won't be done by me. I also believe, I'm a person of faith, that I believe it's being done through us. And I think that this idea of Trump is not a substitute for Christ. Okay, there is no Messiah in politics. A higher power is working through us to revive this great nation we have, one nation under God.
You like that statement he said, Taurean?
It sounds very cliche, like something we've heard before.
Yeah, God, family, country. That's MAGA. Or you've probably heard it back in the day from this man. That's who he sounds like right now.
Freaking
The higher
Vince
power.
McMahon.
The higher power.
And so part of our model is to actually restore that vision. It's us doing this. I'm a vehicle. You are a vehicle, right? You have been put here for a reason. I've been put here for a reason. It's happening through us. So build that trust. That's what this next year and a half is all about. But I do think that because we're all human, 8 years of trying to do what he did, I think Donald Trump's not the same person today that he was in 2015.
We're all vehicles.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye.
I feel closer to Trump in 2015 than I think Trump is to Trump in 2015. But that's, back to the election specifics. My question for you, and I'll bridge this to a question I have for you, is part of the reason I talk about national identities, I think that's an input to questions like the economy, input to how we stand up to China. I have real specifics on how we're going to do those things, but we have to believe in ourselves first. One of the foundations for self-confidence and belief is the nuclear family. And so, and you can maybe, if you'd be so kind as to even afterwards follow up with some of these sources, et cetera, I promise you, we will be citing the correct facts. I just want to be, and I believe in 4-letter words like fact.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you do not. You believe in 3-letter words like lie, and that's all you've been doing this whole time is lie.
God, how does he lie?
Where the fuck have you been?
How does he lie like this?
And he knows he's trying to go back on that stat because he's just convinced that his stat is just the utmost truth.
Oh my
the
God.
gospel.
Is this your game?
Are y'all serious? Bruh, y'all can't be serious with this guy. He deals in facts. He deals in facts. All right.
Arm me with that, and we're good there. But let's actually talk about the solutions, right? So we share this belief that the nuclear family structure, so the numbers, I said 70%, really the number's 41%. But more broadly, we do have a fatherlessness epidemic. It's not just black.
Big gap from the lie he told. Because 41 to 70 is a big margin.
That's huge.
Because like I said, I would have been asking, where did you get this 70% from?
Maybe he should pull the Trump move and go to UFC events. Maybe he should do that. I think that would work. He might get booed though. I ain't gonna lie to you. In Israel, yeah, there's a video coming on you, sir. Jamaican to Jamaica. No, wait, you're not Jamaican. That's the other dude. I got a video coming for you, sir.
Communities, right? It's a big problem in white communities and Hispanic communities as well.
But you don't talk about them.
So
talk.
You've clearly thought a lot about this yourself. You're clearly a smart person yourself.
And that's the line that pissed me off in the other live.
When he said, clearly you're a smart person.
Clearly you're a smart person. What is it? Yeah. That's when Biden
that's a backhanded statement towards a black person to say that, you're smarter than those people, or you're smarter than I thought you were. I already pegged you as being dumb. Because, they always try to say that black people are politically inept and don't know what they're talking about. And it's usually because they don't know how to properly answer the question. So now they peg them as stupid and dumb.
Urban kids, what do you say? What do you say? Black and Latino kids are just as smart as white kids?
I forgot what he said.
Wasn't that Biden?
Yeah.
So this motherfucker jumped over the party line to go quote Biden. Who man is this? And this is the guy that we should be taking a look at. I keep asking this question. This is the guy we need to be taking a look at because he brown.
Boo this man!
I'm all ears. If we agree that that is good,
well, you do have some big
we're not
years,
just
so
running
yes,
from
you are
something,
all
we're running
ears.
to something.
Lord.
And the family is a part of what we're running to. I was on Fox News this morning saying, I want to make the family cool again in this country, right?
MAGA.
I'm all ears, Christy. How do we do it?
A lot of that work is not going to be done at the federal level, right? A lot of that work is going to be done in
pissed. He got bad.
He looked like he ate something. He looked like he ate a lemon.
Oh my God. When she said that's going to be done by the local estate, which is code speak for the normal American person, he got mad. He's like, I just figured out that I'm really limited.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Communities for communities by communities. But what you can do is you can help.
No. People told me you gotta go.
Wait, what was that?
Look back. Look. After she said it.
Christy, how do we do it?
A lot of that work
Watch his face.
is not going to be done at the federal level, right? A lot of that work is going to be done in communities, for communities, by communities. But what you can do is you can.
So you gotta go.
They like you getting swarmed. You getting swamped. You're losing. You're losing.
No, you got to say it correctly.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Oh, his people try to save him, like Envy did. Damn.
Help to get the progressive boot off of the neck of the family. And that is really what you talked about as far as shutting down a lot of those alphabet soup agencies, cutting through a lot of the regulations that, you know, help to destroy the family or the mobility of our inner cities. That's what the federal government can do. But a lot of it is work that is going to be done and is being done. There are, you know, I have a nonprofit that speaks to that. I can speak to a lot of people that have a nonprofit.
Great. I agree with that. It's going to be bottom up.
It's of course, right. It's going to be bottom up. But as a president, potential president, hold true to what you said about getting rid of, you know, a lot of those alphabet soup agencies, you know, reforming or just getting rid. I mean, we have libertarian roots.
Yeah.
I heard you say that. So, you know, we'd be happy
we share that
just,
in common.
You know, nixing the you know, IRS altogether, let Americans keep more of their money. But, you know, I understand, you know.
But as minimalist as we need to keep it, I'm with you on that. And you know, this is where on the point of trust and contrast, I think you need to I think the president needs to understand how it actually works, because part of what happens is those agencies, they sneak in their budget requests to Congress. This happened to Trump, which come back with the word shall. It used to say the word may for how much they're able to spend. So even if Trump says he wants to shut it down, he got duped because the deep state was in bed with Congress. This is where, I mean, thank you for the personal compliment. It has nothing to do with me. Whoever it is needs to actually deeply understand how the process works, how it aligns with the Constitution, to say that the budget requests will run through the White House, not directly go from the administrative state to Congress, because that's how they get you. So that's why I think specificity actually does matter to get the job done.
I think one thing too is you've been hitting DeSantis pretty hard about tweeting for clout, you know, that he doesn't necessarily, you know what he means, the why, but he tweets, you know, to kind of that dopamine hit. We feel the same way about you.
Okay.
Right.
Pause it.
Sometimes.
Because I was going to say,
I'll let you have that.
I was going to say, if she wasn't going to say it, I was going to say it. Because I'm like, that is a pot, meat, kettle moment. We all know when Ron DeSantis be saying stuff and he be trolling too. That's a lot of stuff. Really, honestly, a lot of these politicians, as I like to call them, be doing. And for him to sit up there and try to call out the snowflake for doing the same thing that you're doing, like, how does that make you two different in that aspect?
It doesn't. You just think it's going to be more palatable coming from you than him.
Right.
You said JRDN said, so she acknowledges that the real issues won't get settled on a federal level. How are you still supporting any political party or politician? We don't. We support the policy.
I think
I say policy over politician.
I think he was referring more so to her.
Oh.
Yeah,
but that's how you should be running it. Yeah, but I'm just saying generally also, that's how you should be running it. You vote on the policy, not the person.
The person, right? Because when you do it on a person, then it becomes again like I said earlier, a popularity contest.
Right. Because all these fools that are caping for this man and the bots, they're literally, if you take it away and didn't put his face on it, it sounds like Trump. So you're like what Trump was saying. You just don't like the fact that he said it.
Really, I think all these fools, they will say or support anyone as long as they can get Biden out of office. They'll throw anything, and I do mean anything, in there just as long as he's not the president for the next 4 years.
Yeah, we can't play that though.
That's the game they're playing. That's the game they're playing.
So we're gonna go to everybody but Biden now.
But ironically, that's the same thing they did with Trump. Everybody or anyone but Trump.
Yeah.
So now they're just flipping it back or trying to flip it back that way. Like I said, Pie Tricks is a dirty game.
Yes, sir. You were right. And it'll be great content.
Right. You're gonna be stacked to the brim for the next year and a half.
Yeah. Oh, longer than that. Because if all else works out, who knows? I might stream from the inauguration. I just want to see it.
In your follower base, or
my follower base. Sometimes when you put stuff out there, it really blows up on Twitter when it's more the salacious stuff. And we don't need you to be salacious, right? We need you to come.
Who is we? Who is we?
You got to ask her that. I can't read her mind.
This is like when the other person said we. I'm like, who the fuck is we?
And he likes to use we a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when did you start speaking all this French?
With the solutions, we need you to come with, like you said, exactly what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of some of the red tape. You're going to get rid of some of the progressive policies that have been failing our cities, right? You're going to get rid of a lot of the bureaucracy. That's what we need you to tell Americans. So that way we can then, that are working in the community, that are working to bring people, because we're going to need to expand the base, right? And one more thing that I would like to say is we need you to remain to what you said about being transparent, right? About being like honest and open.
Yes.
And
He already lied, man. He's not.
Oh yeah, he's already. It's too late for transparency and honesty and truth from this dude. This man has done nothing but lie his way to where he is right now. And this, you said this was recorded on May 8th. He was lying after that, and he's still lying today.
Yes, sir. Again, for those who didn't see the live stream where I showed them this, he paid people to take any Soros affiliation off his Wikipedia page
and replaced it with that new little bit of information about him holding this leadership role when he was at Harvard.
But look what I showed.
2011, the child of immigrants from India, founder and CEO of Roivant Sciences.
So yeah, he took money from the Soros Foundation.
Yep. Paul and Daisy Soros Fellowships for New Americans. That would be you.
Yes, sir. Fellowship awarded to support work towards a JD in law at Yale University. So, sir, when you talked to Teslin, you said that your civic contributions were too small to brag about. But on here, you were the chairman of the Harvard Political Union. Why didn't you just tell her this?
Right. Like that, you could have answered her question with that instead of dancing around it and trying to make it seem like she was trying to get you with a gotcha moment, which she said she wasn't trying to get you. It was just a simple question, like, what leadership roles have you held? And you could have saw it right there. And for all we know, Teslin probably even knew about this, but she wanted to see if he would actually say it. Yeah, and he didn't.
Right, but why
What
would
an
you be ashamed
idiot.
of it? Why would you be ashamed of this?
Like, that sounds like a good position to hold, since he was a chairman of the Harvard Political Union and served as one of 3 undergraduates chosen for an advisory board for the selection of the current president of Harvard.
You're shaping policy. Why would you not?
That sounds like a good resume builder to me.
And this was the school that was underneath the microscope. Oh, what the?
But then again, kid, it's the same guy that voted for the first time in 2020 after he missed out on so many more that he could have voted for prior to that.
Because he looked at his wife and his young son. So you were an emotional voter.
Bruce said, unless it's a lie.
I mean, well, Harvard Political Union, I mean, we could go look that up.
And see if he actually held a position.
Yeah, we could go look that up. Which I'm going to go do. Watch the video.
This, like, you didn't field my questions, and I appreciate that. But when you do talk about, there's also a big breakdown with when you talk about ending affirmative action, right?
Yep.
And that being the gateway for a lot of people in the African American community to obtain higher education. It's a little, I don't know if honesty is the right word.
Disingenuous is maybe.
It's a little disingenuous because we weren't told that you got a large, scholarship from George Soros's brother.
Well, actually, and we can talk about this. Talk about in the open. That's actually a great occasion to do. I see this on Twitter all the time. When I'm 25 years old, grow up in a family that didn't have a lot of money, and somebody says you're a high achiever in college, and you have an opportunity to go to law school, and someone whose last name rhymes with another guy who's a bad guy who's become a lot worse in the last 10 years says, here's a scholarship they give to 20 top kids in the country every year.
Immigrants.
Only. First generation Americans, and they'll pay for a first year law school. I said, yes. You want to know why? Because I'm smart. Talk about Donald Trump and trust. He took $160 million loan.
He's not getting away with that. Oh, he not getting away with that.
It has nothing to do with you being smart. It said that it was specific for people who were first generation born. It had nothing to do with your level of intelligence. All you had to do was be first gen born, which you were, because your parents immigrated from India and had you here.
He said Soros
you already qualified.
Rhymes.
You qualified just off of that. That was like a cakewalk. You didn't have to really do anything but be born. That's it.
Bro, he said Soros rhymes with Soros. So my man was robbing blood. He was robbing. You've got to be kidding me. Is he serious?
Y'all, this is the guy that this is one of the people. This is one of the people running for president, y'all.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Bruh, hold on. I gotta show y'all something. Hold on. I went to go look up to see if he was really this chairman. I want you to read this paragraph.
In 2003, Vivek went off to Harvard, where he majored in biology, chaired the Harvard Political Union, and graduate summa cum laude. In college, Vivek recalls, I learned that you don't really understand what you think unless you can articulate the best arguments of those who disagree with you. My peers pushed me to reconsider my most closely held views. I valued that diversity of thought and hope that universities keep that spirit alive for the next generation. The health of our democracy depends on it. The health of our democracy.
Don't this sound like Abby Phillip?
Depends on it.
Don't this sound like Abby Phillip during January 6th?
Yep.
They're attacking our capital. They're attacking our democracy.
Again, goes back to what I keep saying. He always keeps saying we. And we like, we where? You just got here in the 80s. Your lineage doesn't go past 40 years, as far as 40 plus odd years if you talking about your parents, but you only what, 37, 38?
37. Okay, brother. You Taurean spitting today, boy. Don't.
Like I said, if you end up on the radar, which this man's been on the radar for quite some time, then you gonna be there for a while until I feel fit for you to not be on that radar no more.
Damn. Wait, I found something. I think I did. No, maybe not. No, this ain't. No, never mind. I thought it was some. Said bipartisan solutions. I don't see no black people on this.
You probably won't.
I'm looking. Yeah, I don't see no black people on this. Diversity.
Oh,
wait, I found one.
There's one.
She's the vice president.
Class of 24.
She's from your state.
Oh, okay. I wonder which part.
All right. Do your thing.
So she graduates next year.
Shout out to her. And what?
And she held some leadership positions. Vice president, communications director. Never mind.
You had to throw that in there. Her pronouns are she, her, and hers. You had to throw that in there. Damn.
I saw that as soon as you highlighted it.
She's doing applied math with a focus in economics. All right, girl.
Oh,
do your thing.
The person next to her is from Maryland too. And as a matter of fact, he's from the county
Georgia.
I'm live in.
He look Asian though. He might
He
be.
said
He
he's
might
a
be
political.
adopted.
He said he's a political YouTuber. I can only imagine what he's talking about.
Oh, all right. Go to the video. I'm gonna look him up. Go back to the video.
George Soros loan for one of his projects as a full-grown adult. I don't fault him for that because he's a businessman. He knows what he's doing. Now, if somebody's going to tell me what I can and cannot say, they can show themselves the door and shut it in the way out because I'm my own man. It's why I stepped aside from a multi-billion-dollar company to actually pursue what I've been pursuing over the last 3 years when not a CEO in this country would do the same thing. So, I'm open to having a conversation and I will do something that, and this is why I talk to, why I'm open-minded about any other Republican that says they won't talk to NBC News because they're scared of getting some criticism. I think can't handle the heat, you stay out of the kitchen. You want to lead the country and represent Xi Jinping, you got to be able to take all degrees of criticism. That's why we're sitting here for a half hour too. Right. But you want to talk about facts. Let's talk about hard facts because I think that's what we don't do enough of in this party. And we do have a lot of clickbait culture on Twitter. I agree with you.
And I think
that perpetuates a lot of BS.
What African Americans
So I'm ready to cut through that.
And you're a part of it. Again, when you look at his page on Twitter, he posts a lot of things to get a lot of retweets and people to agree with them. It's like one big echo chamber under there.
Yes, sir. I looked up Ethan Kelly. We may have content. We may have content. We may have content. We may have content. I just want to show y'all this real quick.
Hey, we're at the Yale Bowl.
That's his latest video. They went to the Yale Bowl
from a year ago.
Yeah, he don't really stream. He only has 6 videos.
Well, they on his thing it said he's a political YouTuber, but I don't see anything on here that would allude to him talking about politics. It looks more like vlogging his college experience.
1 second every day of my junior year until okay. I'm gonna look up his Twitter while y'all finish the video.
What African Americans say about, or what Black Americans say about immigration is there are a lot of opportunities like the Soros scholarship provided only to children of immigrants. There's a lot of different opportunities that, so that's one thing that they say.
What I would say? Go for it. Go for it.
Did you see what he just did?
We get it.
Yes, I heard it.
No, did you see what he did with the hand?
No, I'm gonna go back. I was looking up the guy's Twitter and I saw that Groovin Gorilla got beat up.
Damn. Oh well.
It might be a skit though, but we'll see.
So that's one thing that they say.
What I would say?
Go for it.
Because I have a good answer to that. We get rid of all of it.
Why are you so damn hostile?
Right.
With the hand, but why are you so hostile?
Tone down that sass, sir.
Jesus. Go ahead, keep going.
We're big on
Colorblind across the board.
We're big on borders, right? We're big on
Also,
build the wall.
we should be.
I want you to come to Arizona. I want you to. I want you to see it because I've been down there, and I think it's a bigger problem.
It's a huge problem
than you think. But you got to see it.
Oh, Ethan Kelly, you pussy.
What'd he say? Or what did he put up there?
Look at that cover photo.
Oh, the tweets up. Oh,
bruh. I see what Tommy on. I see what Tommy on.
Oh, that YouTube channel. That look. I don't know if that's his YouTube channel.
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
No, this is him. I see what type of time you on, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
That chick Jade, when I saw it, that was his thumbnail. The black chick that was in it. I was like, oh, so you might be that guy. Okay, this just confirmed it. I don't even care about his political. Why are you protecting your tweets?
Because he said some stuff that people was checking him on, and he just that's usually why people do that. Like, you probably said something that rubbed people the wrong way, and you got an influx of people, and you turn your tweets to protect it so no one can come to your page. You just made it private.
Yeah, we're gonna find out though. But go ahead. Back to the video.
Oh,
you gotta see it.
I've been there. We'll come back.
What happens is when the immigrants come over here, they plop them in the cities.
Mm-hmm.
They're not coming out here to the suburbs.
And I don't even call them immigrants, right? These are law violating acts, right?
Yeah. They're coming into the cities.
Yep.
So that's another big area.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things is building the wall was never going to do it. Part of leveling up involves listening with an open mind. And I took a lot away from this conversation, Christy. And if our goals really are as aligned as this conversation suggests to me we are, then we're going to take the facts that you're providing to take us even further. Mm-hmm. But my only ask of you is you're encouraging me to stay tethered to facts. Join me, and let's both do it. And I think that's something that each of us has to look hard in the mirror and ask ourselves, whether it was, emotion, proving a point, whatever it is. We're all human. I have that, you have that, we all have that. So if more of us are committed to doing that together, grounded in truth, grounded in what's actually a hard fact versus not, versus what actually makes for a public point that we want to make. Yeah, look, I think we are going to be better off as a country for it. And
I think I really had to dig to find, mm-hmm. The Vivek mm-hmm. that I came to appreciate when I did my research. Mm-hmm. Like, I had to look at the reason mm-hmm. interview was a great interview.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It was a great interview.
Thanks for almost no one listened to that, but thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Libertarian roots.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the most he's cracked a smile this whole time since the beginning because he got a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it's going to turn back into a frown eventually.
Oh, yeah. But we've come to the end of the video, and there's a little bit that's just them in and out. But
Of course it is.
You want to know why it's really correct too?
Why is that? Oh, he went to a Nats game.
No, he didn't.
Huh?
This is the congressional baseball game
at Nats Park Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in June 16th?
No, that was 2019. Oh, well, June 16th.
No,
yeah,
this year.
But look at the T-shirt.
Biden Harris.
All right, Ethan. Let me see what type of time you on, bro. We see what type of time.
That's the woman. That's the girl from the
the girl
from the thing. Yeah.
The afterlife is going great.
And that was from last year.
This man took a picture with a Brita water filter. What are y'all doing at Harvard? Huh? What was that? Oh, I thought. All right.
Yeah, I can tell just by looking at his face. He definitely has some Asian in there. It's some Asian.
I'm thinking he's adopted. He was one of them kids that some white family brought over.
I would even say that one of those parents could be PC, but it's definitely some Asian there.
I'm gonna assume he's adopted.
Look at the bottom of the shoe. Look at the bottom of the shoe.
Oh yeah. All right. He love hugged up with black chicks. All right, go ahead, do your thing. I ain't even hating. Not even hating. Do your thing. You got it. I see why he protected his tweets. Wait, is this prom or something? What is this? I wish some night.
Yeah, that is his prom.
Okay. What, you went with like 13 girls? What the fuck? All right.
So they was at they was in College Park.
Yeah, University Park. But yeah, there you go. Have fun. What the fuck happened to my screen just now? Okay. Yeah. Okay, you got it. Lollipop guild, man. Y'all better go. Y'all better go. All right, we'll risk the we'll risk it. We'll risk it. We'll risk it. Where is it? They said Groovin' Gorilla got beat up. We'll risk it. Let's see that. I think it might be a, what they call it. It might be a skit, but I want to see it. There you go again, doing too much. All right, let's see. Where are we? Here we go. Oh, it is a skit. Okay, say less.
Then I guess we don't have to check it out then.
Nah, I'm not even gonna do that. It's a skit. Like if somebody really hated this man like that and wouldn't put hands on it, it would just beat him up. Ain't gonna be a whole bunch of beefcakes trying to stop him. All right, say less. Anyway, that was fun, folks. That was fun. We already know what he's about. We're not even going to inundate you with the Candace Owens stuff. We might do that.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah, because I know you don't want to hear her voice. Even at 1.5, you don't want to hear her voice.
Yeah, I kind of did that a couple weeks ago.
Big Hair said, hold your vote. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. I'm not impressed. Just like I said back in November when Trump announced he was running, I'm not impressed. I need to hear something different. I might as well just go in there and write reparations and leave. Just worry about the local and state. Right. I'm not impressed. What was your impression, Taurean?
Low as usual.
There you go. Sucks too. You know why it sucks?
What?
Because he's wasting his entire fortune that could be left to his kids to try to do a failed presidential run instead of funding the eventual candidate. But I got it. Cameron Joe said Candace Owens will say it's unfair to white people if a black person wins the lottery. I don't hear them complaining when the Latinos hit it every other day.
Right. They be staying winning the lottery.
Facts.
And them big wins too.
But, you know.
Look! We just want the money! You guys walk away!
That's every TV, YouTube conservative. By the way, did you know your friend BCP articulated what Vivek and Teslin did and said that she was a clown? I saw y'all video on that. That was great.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Didn't you guys react to that?
No, the amazing Lucas did.
And
he barely did because Teslin had called in.
Yeah.
And then after she had called in, he had stopped looking at the video. And that dude, and I'm talking about BCP, he sounded like he was I don't know if he drank something because his words were all slurred because Lucas didn't speed up the quality of the video. He played it at the normal speed, and this guy was talking like he was swallowing his own tongue.
You know what?
Like, I'm like, dude, I'm like, what it is?
Sometimes he says that he saw this video, he had to rush home and do it. Like, you can't be that hard up for content that you got to rush home from being out enjoying life to do a video.
And my thing is, where was you coming from? That you had to leave doing whatever it is that you was doing to come and make that video. Because like I said, did you watch the video?
I saw Lucas's breakdown, and then I heard some of his conversation with Teslin, but I'm not giving that asshole any views.
I completely understand, but like I said, when you listen, if you do come across it, you do want to watch it, or stomach, I should say, and you listen to the regular speed, like again, he sounds like his words are all slurred. It's like you said, you rushed home to make that. Why not just wait until like tomorrow when you're rested?
No,
and
you got to catch the griff. You got to catch the algorithm.
It wasn't going nowhere.
He wanted to be the first. That's why, remember, I used to say that these black conservatives, especially with what happened with Breonna Taylor, they would just rush any little news that would come out. They would rush to go do the video, not verify and not nothing.
Yeah, that's how Fakem got caught up in that Uvalde thing, and Tyree Nichols, because you just have to rush to put something out there.
Yeah, which is dumb, because now you'd have to go sit there and apologize. But that's them. But is it this one? Here's the really quick before we go. We're gonna look at some of these comments. We're gonna see if they're bots or not. Let's see if they're bots. Now he's got 1,000 likes to 20 dislikes. Well, make that 21. Now it's over. now it's a legal adult. It's a legal adult that can drink. After discovering Vivek a few months ago, I've become much more appreciative of our country and much more patriotic. It took this man for
someone who was first generation born. Okay, someone who just voted.
Who wrote this?
2020.
Jenkins Psych, 2 subscribers. All right, you must have wrote that from Mumbai. All right. Vivek is single-handedly raising the bar standard for what it takes to be a U.S. president going forward, addressing the most minute details in the discussion with a person skeptical of voting for you. What? So Teslin did that. I ain't see these comments over there. All right. Got it. I'm 36 years old and following a presidential election for I can't even talk to you. As an immigrant, I'm proud to
30. Hold on. So basically, you and Vivek have something in common.
This must be his burner account.
You just now following a presidential election for the first time at the age of 36. So that's telling me that this would be when you turn 37. That'll be your first time voting.
As an immigrant, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud of what you're doing. Let's get this man into the White House. Okay. This is what it is all about, having a conversation. So much respect for Vivek for doing. These are bots.
All you got to do is look at when some of these accounts were created, and that'll tell you all you need to know. Look at that. No videos. August 2013. So you have no content, but been up here for almost 10 years. I think what they do is they find these dead accounts, and then they
just show up,
activate them, and then they type through them. Like these dead accounts.
What other candidate would do this? Great convo from 2 people. Are you serious? Okay. I so appreciate this interview. Christy for not being shy, say what she wanted to know, and do so calmly and articulately, and he for not being afraid of criticism. What were you watching? That man was spinning.
Oh, look at that one that says this was such a refreshing discussion between Vivek and Christy that I feel restored a few brain cells back after that disastrous interrogation of Vivek by Teslin Figaro from the Breakfast Club video.
Of course, it's a white guy.
And it's the one that has the most comments that I've seen so far.
You mean you're not super conservative whether or not he was a student council when he was said, here comes the white people. Somebody with some sense. Of course, you're going to disagree. Okay, stupid. See, this is what I mean by when I say conservatives are dumb. He said Trump was an outsider, held no political office when he won the top spot and changed this nation for the better. Vivek as an outsider will do the same, but even better than Trump. You got to be the dumbest motherfucker.
And neither was Trump.
Right. Trump, yes, you're right. He had no political office, but he was among governors, state leaders, presidents, mayors for decades. They even wanted him to run for president in the 80s. The only reason why we say he's probably the closest to an outsider is because he didn't play them games. He wasn't really connected to politics like that. Vivek has been connected to politics since 2011, but y'all say he's an outsider. But okay,
Yeah, they gonna be, like I said, they're gonna be in for a rude awakening come August 23rd, and I
I
can't
know.
wait.
Oh, I know. These bot accounts gonna get shut down, and these idiots are gonna be sent up there. They'll be like, they ain't let him talk. This is why the GOP is the way it is, because they just had a free for all. But y'all were loving it when the Democrats did it. When Kamami was getting at Biden, and then Tulsi got at her, y'all were loving it.
Kid, I can't take them seriously, because if you remember back when Obama was getting out of office, one of the first things that they said when Trump came in is that they wanted them to get rid of Obamacare but keep the Affordable Care Act.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
and don't forget the waiver too. For congressional leaders.
They
don't have to pay.
Wait a minute, I had to look up to the sky a little bit to make sure that I was on the right planet.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you want them to get rid of Obamacare but keep the Affordable Care Act? I'm like, you dumbasses, do y'all not realize that's the same thing?
Mm-hmm. No,
you told on yourselves.
Of course.
When it came out, they were the ones it was more of them on benefiting from that Affordable Care Act. Much like they tend to benefit, now used to benefit from affirmative action.
Talk to them. Talk to them. But I want you to see this exchange right here. So the I Am Human First 2020 said, you're a Trump supporter. Therefore, being disrespectful, rude, insulting, etc. are character traits you willfully accept from Trump. So I struggle to see the problem with Ted's. Next, along with his non-political career, I also pointed out that Vivek didn't vote until 2020. This fact seems to separate him from Trump. Additionally, it could show his disinterest in politics altogether. It begs our critical minds to ask, why does he want to go from 0% concern with politics and not want to be president? That's a hell of a leap. But that's a fair question. I wish somebody would have asked that, but okay. Now watch this. So he came back and said, I am a Vivek supporter, and he showed that woman nothing but grace and respect, no matter how much she tried to bash and discredit him. Vivek is an inspiration and the embodiment of the American dream. Lord,
how?
Because he's an immigrant that he can control. That has been the overall right. Right. He has a plan, and is what we need in the White House to bring back the sanity to this country. What is his plan?
He's insane himself. Like, have you not heard some of the policies that he wants to implement? You want to call that sane? I can't take these. I can't take them.
I think it's a bot.
It has to be. It has to be.
But I need to go back to the first sentence. He said, I'm a Vivek supporter, and he showed that woman nothing but grace and respect, no matter how much she tried to bash and discredit him. She didn't discredit him. She wanted him to explain his positions and also explain what he's done in his past makes him viable as a presidential candidate. That's not a hard question. If you were on Harvard's political union, that is big. That is the most profitable and the most, what's the word? The most profitable and the most endowed university, in the world. $50 billion endowment. That is huge. You were on a council that selected the president. That's huge. He didn't want to talk about that because I bet you Teslin would have then asked him, how do you feel about the affirmative action? And he would have got caught in something. But I don't understand why you don't brag about that.
And the thing is, all his stuff is public knowledge. It's not like they got to dig very far to get to it. Like, you can just go and look it up. Like, look at how easy he was able to pull up that stuff about with Soros.
Mm-hmm.
It's public knowledge. It's out there. And I hope they question about that at the debate.
Oh, you know Trump will. You know Trump will.
And they just had like a whole exchange back and forth in that whole
I'm glad Vivek listens to others. All right. All right. Sure.
They said, I think once people learn about Vivek, the more his numbers will grow. I think we know all we need to know about him, and those numbers ain't growing.
He barely moved the percentage point. You wait till the 23rd, people. You wait. We got 6 weeks. You wait.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking wait. Oh my God. We ain't gonna see nothing. I bet you all these people gonna delete their comments.
Oh, he gonna turn the comment section off. That's what he gonna do.
Oh, he better protect his tweets. And then watch Elon come out of nowhere and say, if you're a political candidate, you're not protecting your tweets. And then he gonna say fascism. I had totally given up on voting, but now I'm familiar with Vivek. I'm pretty much a stan. Okay. Can't take you serious. I love how genuine Vivek is. This convo is so authentic. So decent and challenging to each other. but Tesla did it, and y'all tried to. All right. You want some more, or are you done?
I'm done.
Say less. The white voting block will doom us all. Please go watch that live stream. The white voting block will doom us all. This man said he came from Agrabah. Y'all gotta be nice. Yes, Big Hair. We know the Black Boule is against us. We understand that. That's why they're deemed irrelevant in our conversations. We don't care about them. They're gonna spin in the wind. But Taurean, this was fun. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I need to go fry fish now. All right, family. I appreciate y'all coming in. This was fun. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. And, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Right.
Any day above ground, live it. I will see y'all back here tomorrow, where I'm going to get at the Caribbean. We're going to be nice for the folk.
Cool.
But yes, take care, stay safe, and y'all know what to do when the agitators of peace come to mess up your existence.